But I totally get people that are like, I speak Spanish as my first language, and she butchered that. Yeah, condolences. I'm sure that it happened at least once or twice. Like,
Well, okay, if we did have like a sequel or somewhere where Serenity was involved, would you want to voice her again, or what? You want someone who is uh, more with the background?
yeah, it's kind of like I'd be down to voice her again if that's the decision that you made, but if you were like, we want someone who has this cultural background, you would not see me throwing a fit on Twitter because I got replaced. You know what I mean?
So just gonna cancel me. I'm like, oh no, it's the end of the world. Anywho,
Yeah. I'm not gonna go and be like, oh my god, I can't believe JJ did this. I'm so angry and I feel so betrayed. I'd be like, hey, good news, folks. That character that I got to voice is now gonna have a voice that, like, can speak to the experience, So yeah, I wouldn't be, like, offended. Yeah.
and
Just to say, I would have never voiced in this game unless out of necessity. It was super fun to be involved with, but it's like, this is how I came aboard.
well, you would probably want to have more time with it, like to get more into the role.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah, more time would be awesome. But it is what it is.
And tell me, the main focus is usually on the main girl. Did you like seeing that you weren't the only girl in this game? Like, you're not special, but now you're just living life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I love that there are other girl characters. I think that that's one of the main problems I have with otome games I played, which is like, and this is not the case for all otome, but it's like, a lot of times in otome, if you see another woman, it's because she's a threat, If you see another woman in otome, it's because she's about to steal your man. And so it's like, I really enjoy that Serenity, Arya, and Layla have like a camaraderie, and are like there for each other, because it's really like a breath of fresh air, to see that kind of positive female relationship in a game genre that's like supposed to be designed for female audiences.
Speaking of which, so someone told me, like, I saw it afterwards. Like, Arya has like the brown hair aesthetic, and like the body of like the heroine from like like the villainous genre or otome. While Layla, if she had like the hourglass figure like Serenity, because she has the purple hair, she would have been the villainous. It would have made like the more like rivalry type of situation. How would you have felt like if like it looked like the villainous and like the heroine actually got along rather than like get at each other's neck?
Oh man, if they got along, I mean, if I see women supporting each other in a I just have brain rot. If I see women supporting each other and it's like there's only two of them, like, honestly, I think this being a group of 3 is great, because if not, I would be frothing at the mouth for Arya and Serenity to date. Like, scratching at my enclosure. No, like, straight up, I feel like, especially because in a lot of anime right now, that trope is getting addressed and turned on its head. Where it's like, oh, I'm in love with the villainess or whatever. Like, yeah, just very interesting. Now, if it's like my best friend is also my rival, / the quote-unquote villainess, like she fills that role, that's super fascinating. And I think that, like, the social dynamics at play are just, that's so crazy. That's so crazy! But I think as it is right now, because, like, we explored that, like, triangle theory of attachment, like, I think that the relationship she has with the girls kind of demonstrates how, like, this is what it looks like when 2 of the 3 things are present, right? Like, these girls probably aren't, like, passionate about each other, but they do have a certain intimacy and commitment. So I thought that that was, like, really neat to see. In fact, I almost feel like each of these girls represents a different, like, side of that triangle.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the reason why I had 3 of them to begin with, because it represents the triangle. So like, Arya's more the intimacy side. Serenity's more the commitment because she's committed to like friendship. And then Layla's very passionate, as you can tell.
Fiery as hell.
Yeah.
I love it.
So like, yeah. So like, that's literally how I was like, because we were gonna only have 2, and I was like, nah, I want 3. And they're like, we could do 3. They could not do 3. We really had to pick. But
Yeah.
you're saying like how it gave it more depth, because I usually see like maybe one character that you have in anime is like my best friend, and then you see them like 1 or 2 times in the show, or they're like such a background character. They're
Right.
never really expanded.
Yeah.
Like,
My besties who I never spend time with.
yeah. Unless like they have like a love interest going on. I'm like, what the turd? So that's like part of the reason I did that, which is I think I'm gonna try to do the same thing in Lloyd's playbook. Have like that same type of dynamic going on. Probably not to this type of extent, like where they all get like a love interest, because that would be like quite the story to tell. But just to like, because it's gonna be more like the boyhood, like like I feel like there's quite a different dynamic between guys and girls with their relationships.
Oh, like the friendships.
Yeah.
They're very different for sure.
And so
Well, I
that's
love strong male friendship. Like
Yeah.
intimate male friendships on screen are very refreshing and exciting to watch. I think I love seeing men support each other and lift each other up, I guess.
And so I was really keen on having like the women support each other thing, and just seeing like actual other women in like Otome, because like I don't know, for me it's just like I'm not the only person there. Like
Right.
I'm just
It's
like,
weird if you're in a world populated by one woman.
Yeah.
Like in Jack John, there's a reason for that, of course, but it's also just like, dude, like, what world are we living in where women make up like, what would that be, like 18% of the population if you have 5 love interests that are men? Like, it's weird. It's weird. Unless there's a narrative reason for it, I don't see any reason other women should be excluded and just have the heroine. I totally agree.
for the friendship slash sisterhood of the girls, what was refreshing or missing from them?
Ooh, okay, so I think the refreshing thing I've touched on a couple times, where it's just like, I like the lack of competition among these girls. Like, there's not a constant, you know, like Arya doesn't look at Serenity and be like, I can't have my man around you because you'll steal him because you're so beautiful. Like, it's just a foregone conclusion that it's like, we're here to lift each other up. We don't tear each other down, period. Which was really lovely. I think, as far as like anything that could have been better about their dynamic, that's such a thinker. I think that I would have loved for Arya to have more of a reaction, which part of this is on me because I did a lot of the editing. So I would have loved to see Arya a little more connected with her friends' like triumphs and failures outside of those scenes where they're together. Like, how to put? Like, it seems like she doesn't spend a ton of time thinking about her friends unless they're in the room. So I feel like the impact that they had on her could have been greater, but I still feel like some of it was there. It's just me wanting more. You know what I mean?
I think that's more of a character flaw on Arya, because
That's totally fair.
yeah. Like she's nice, but like she can be selfish at times, which you can kind of see with like how she's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe Damien did not call me after his call. Like, oh.
Yeah.
she like moves on right away. Like, she's like,
right. Well, and I think too, it's like, it speaks to she has this very like tunnel vision mindset about herself, which is kind of like, it almost pokes fun at heroines in other Otome games, because naturally they usually are the only woman, so it's kind of a funny way to point out, like, she acts like she's the only person in the world.
What is a canon that's not canon to your character?
A headcanon that's not canon to my character. I think... So I think one of the things that I really like to imagine is that she, for her YouTube channel, does a lot of unboxing videos. Like,
Loki, I had that same thought, honestly.
I was
Like,
gonna say, I think she just likes a little box of surprises, and so it's like, I think fashion is probably her favorite kind of box, but I bet she orders just whatever. I bet she's on Facebook all day, every day, scrolling through and seeing like, oh wow, a foreign snack box. Oh wow, a witchcraft box. Oh wow, a crystal surprise box. Like, she just orders it. She's like, this will make a great video. Whether or not anyone asked for it, I'm doing it. This is my sweet, sweet YouTube money.
Honestly, she just kind of forgot that she ordered it. She's just like,
Right?
It's like, oh my goodness, thank you so much for buying it. And everyone's like, I didn't buy this.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm making a video today since this came in the mail. Yeah.
Okay, so someone just gives me $50. What? I'm sorry. I'm so confused. I had to look that up. Because that's kind of weird. I didn't even see if that's legit.
Yeah.
You once mentioned to me that Silver was such a himbo around Layla. I know. So, is he really your favorite character? Like, does none of the other guys stand a competition?
Well, I will say, oh, that's so hard. There's a special place in my heart for all of them. I especially love Silver. I think if I had like a second place, it would probably be Ethan. I just love me a shy boy. Super, super cute. Like, honestly, you'd never know, but my husband is like that in private. He's like very reserved and quiet and constantly working. And I'm just like, and then he comes, into the public eye, and it's just like, he's this crazy, loud, hilarious person. But behind the scenes, he's very much like Ethan. So that would probably be like my second favorite. Especially because I feel like in his story, like, he has a lot of interesting depth. And I'm just now realizing as I say this that his character story is probably the second most intertwined with Silver. Like, yeah. So, it's contagious. But no, I think Ethan would be my second favorite. Damien might be higher up there, except that I spent so much goddamn time on his route that I'm just sick of him. Like, he's a good dude, and I like him as a character, but for me personally, I just spent way too much time with him. So,
like, I need less time with you.
Yeah, like, I need a break from you, dude. So that's where I'm at with Damien, but yeah.
Speaking of unboxings, all the outfits she got.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes. Yeah, I love the idea of her doing like a fashion channel. She does a lot of hauls. I bet she does thrifting hauls, honestly, as well.
If she had an alternate design in the game, which one would you have liked her to see?
Ooh, of these three?
Yeah.
I really like the one on the right because I think just like the cut of the shirt and the red really kind of emphasizes that Spanish heritage.
Yeah.
I think like if it were me getting dressed in the morning, I would probably be the girl on the left. But for Serenity's character, I think the one on the right makes the most sense as a secondary option.
Yeah, the red one makes sense for her. I'm personally a blue fan, so I would be like blue all the way, but I'm like, bro, I would have all my characters in blue.
So, all 3-8, so it's like either way.
So yeah, I was just like, but this one definitely made the most sense for her. This one's more like her business. The gray one's the business one. This one's just like she's at school. This one's just like, I'm going out with the girls. The blue one.
Girls' night. Girls' night.
Girls' night out. So, let's see. Which question? 5 years from now, what do you think Serenity's doing? Would you? Oh yeah.
Ooh. Well, I think that whatever the successor to TikTok ends up being, she's like an early adopter and makes a stupid amount of money on there. I think that she's made at least one apology video, but like that it's a really good apology video and that she like donates money or something. Like, I think that just like by nature of constantly being in the public eye, she's gonna mess something up. But I feel like she's the kind of person that would try to atone for it. So she's had at least one scandal. For sure.
Don't we all?
I don't know. Yeah. But I definitely think that, you know, I think that her success continues. Is she the marketing major? She is, isn't she? I didn't imagine that, did I? Wait.
I think she is. I just can't remember.
Is I remember her and Silver having like a huge fight in the bar because he like wasn't listening to her and she's like, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a plan. So I think that, but honestly, I don't think that she tries to find a job in marketing. I think she just applies everything she knows to her own brand and like goes crazy Mr. Beast viral.
I can see that happening.
I think that we get sick of seeing her, but like in an affectionate way. Like, wow, she's really cute, but like, oh my god, there's other people.
She starts doing reaction videos like, oh my god, why is she always on the homepage?
Right?
Okay. Would you have liked to seen Chubby Serenity?
Ooh, Chubby Serenity. Like, at some point in the game? Totally.
Yeah, like, maybe, like, because Damien knew her in high school, so we could have had, like, a flashback of seeing her in her chubby form.
I mean, yeah. I'm never opposed to a cute chubby character. Cute chubby character design. Like, I will never say no. Feed me that shit.
Do you think she would have had like the otaku look, or because like you think she would have like had like her weird phase during high school, or you think she would have?
Oh, totally. I think her hair was completely green, but that she didn't know about toning, so like it was turning that like kind of, you know, that gross like yellow green that you get when your color starts fading out. Yeah, I think. Like, I don't think it was necessarily, like, an ugly duckling phase where it's like, oh, her hair is frizzy and gross and she's got acne and all this other stuff, but I do think, like, yeah, she definitely looked the part of a teenage anime fan.
Did you, play all the routes yet?
I had that phase, for sure.
Did you play all the routes yet?
Not yet. I played the Silver route and I think the Michelangelo route.
You're such a Silver simp, honestly.
I know. I just love him. I would eat him in real life because he's rich, but like, I don't know, man. There's just something about him.
What was your favorite part in each of the routes you played?
I mean, in Silver's route, just getting to spend so much time with Silver. In Michelangelo's route, it's hard to say because it was a little while back. But like, I feel like one of the things that was enjoyable about it is just that, like, I remember Michelangelo being very contentious in the production phase. So I was really happy to see that, like, in the end, it did come together into like a cohesive piece. You know what I mean? Because I know that, like, he went through a lot of design changes. There was a lot of doubt about like what his character would embody. And we had some trouble, like, I think that was one of the last scripts we finished, wasn't it?
It was the very last. That's why it's like the shortest.
I would say that was my big relief, was just like, I'm glad this is here, that this looks finished, and that like it all came together. Like, I know that's such a cop-out answer that has nothing to do with my personal preference as a player, but I would think I was just like, whew, okay, we pulled it off, guys. We did it.
How would you have felt if we had to scrap the Michael, like, if you were a player and we just had to scrap the Michelangelo route, like it just didn't exist?
Like, if I'd been following the project, like as a backer, like a fan, instead of like on the crew, I think I'd be pretty disappointed. Largely just because I think it's such a, I don't know. One, it's such a breath. I keep saying like breath of fresh air, but I think it's very nice to see like a black dateable character in an otome game, because it's just not super common. Like when you think of otomes, it's like beautiful pale boys in flowery outfits, like looking like princes and stuff. And I think Michelangelo was just really unique in that regard. And I also think that just like he brings something to the table that I feel like the other characters don't. Like, I feel like a lot of the other characters are exceptional because of things that you might not encounter in the real world, whereas Michelangelo is just like someone who's really passionate about his art. He's not like a former secret agent type, and he's not like crazy fabulously wealthy or some superhuman program designer, you know? He's just like a guy that loves something with his whole heart, and I think that like that on its own adds a lot of value and provides nice contrast with the other love interest.
It's funny how you mentioned like Michelangelo being black, because he's supposed to be
Puerto Rican, right?
Puerto Rican, Caribbean, yeah. So some people will say Afro Latino.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably just the proper word for it.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
So
Nice.
yeah. And so what I go by is like, I want to go with like the scale of color. Like I go up and down color scales instead of like focusing on the race itself. And then if I want to add race, I will add race later. How did you get into voice acting?
Yeah, so that goes way back to like when I was in early high school / late middle school. I watched a little show called Club to Death Angel Dokuro-chan.
I have no idea what that is.
Good. It's brain rot degenerate anime. No, it's about this guy that like this angel comes to live with him, and she has this big metal bat, and if he looks like sexualizes her, she beats him to death, but then she can resurrect him.
Oh, I think I've seen YouTube things on that. Oh
yeah, it's insane. And so like I watched that show, and I was looking to see if I could find the dub on YouTube, and there was one episode. I think the first episode was available at the time. And mind you, this was like, oh god, longer than this was like 15 years ago. So like but I was like, oh my god, and I saw a fan dubbed scene, and I was like, oh my god, that's a thing you can just do? Almost none of the anime I like gets dubbed, because again, like we're talking 2008 to 2010ish. I don't know the exact year, but it was a long while back, so that was very common. Like if you liked an anime, you just had to accept it might never get a dub. So I started out actually in fan dubbing, which people are like, don't talk about that, and I'm like, I was a teenager. No one's gonna blacklist me because a silly little 15-year-old did a thing like a billion years ago. So like I did some fan dubbing, and then after a while I got into abridging, which is like fan dubbing, but everything is stupid.
I love Abridges so much.
Non-pejorative, yeah. Like, I love that everything is stupid. Like, it's just silly, loud, over the top. It's like anime voice acting on steroids. Like, as camp and melodramatic as anime voice acting can be sometimes, turn that up another 5 notches and you have an abridged series.
So,
yeah, and then I went pro a couple years back, which mostly just meant I started auditioning for paid projects, and now I just kind of do that half and half with my day job.
have you ever heard of the Anime Boys?
Of course I've heard. I'm constantly confused with the Anime Boys.
they have a Catholic or Christian Ochako.
Yes. I would say I voiced Ochako in the Joyride version, and when we put clips up, like, ours is so different from hers. She's like a feminist and like, but also like a really mean feminist who hates Deku, and so people are like, wow, she went from being Catholic to this, and I'm like, that's a totally different series, but it is kind of hilarious when you look at it that way. Like, if you accidentally stumble on Joyride while going through like Anime Boys shorts, like, it is a very funny contrast.
Are you guys almost done with the My Hero one? Because I think the anime is almost finished. What?
The anime is almost finished, and I wish I could say yes, because like, there's so much source material, but I think Ivan is going to work on this series until he's dead and in the ground.
Oh my.
Especially now that they've announced there's going to be another animated series based on the Vigilantes spinoff, which isn't by the same guy, but I love Pop Step, so I can't complain. But yeah, I'm sure that we do something with that when it comes out. We use all the movies when they come out, so like, there's no shortage of footage, and Ivan just continues to add to the story in his head and his little notepad, so like, I don't know when or if ever we'll be done with that series. I'm
so sad about how you guys be like hating on Todoroki and Momo. I'm like, how could you?
How could you? I would say that's purely Ivan. Like, I don't really, he's still like the sole scripter for My Hero. So there are a lot of things where I'm like, that's not necessarily my interpretation of the series, but I'm glad that you're getting something out of it. Like, Toga and Ochako is my OTP. Like, I love them. I want the world for them. They'll never get justice, but you know, like, I finished reading the manga, and I guess the ending is good enough for me, but it still makes me sad. Like,
I don't think the ending's good enough for me, but that's besides the point. I'm not gonna get deep into
no one liked it. Yeah.
For me,
everyone hated that.
My favorite for Joyride, I really like was it? Do you call him the Quackity Chicken or something like that?
Oh yeah, Levity Chicken.
Levity Chicken and President Zero. I don't know why, but I just love those two characters. So.
Oh, they're so great. Like, the President Zero is probably the fan favorite. It's definitely like the inside joke. Anytime anyone sees Zero, you can tell they're a Joyride fan if they say like, "Oh, Mr. President." I'm like, hell yeah. And that one is voiced by my husband, so that's also fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then Levity Chicken is voiced by our very dear friend Sam. It's Australian. You might never guess it, but he also voices. I think he's also the voice of Endeavor. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We do a lot of double duty in the series.
If you could voice any character in any video game or visual novel, who would it be and why?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Any character. Oh god, who's that one? Hold up. Let me consult my anime list real quick. Because I know I just watched something recently where I was like, oh, they should have cast me. Not that the original voice actor wasn't absolutely crushing it, but like, you know, you feel jealous when it's like, that could have been me. That could have been me, boys.
Not you with my anime.
Yeah. Oh, I love my anime list. It's my jam. Okay, I know what I'm gonna say, especially because this one doesn't have an English dub, right? I want to voice, I don't remember which cure it is. It's like the blue-haired girl in Hirogaru's Sky Precure.
I heard of Precure before. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I love Precure. It's like the longest running magical girl anime series. Like, And the best part of it is every year there's a new season, and you don't have to know absolutely anything about the previous season because it's just a new group of girls and a new concept every season.
For what's your favorite voice to do?
Ooh, there's a character I voice in Joyride's Spy X Family named Becky.
And I really love her because she's just really cute, but also really sassy and sometimes kind of mean.
So yeah, I don't know. She's like, I love that character so much. I worked very hard on like constructing her and getting her voice right. So probably her. And I just love voicing children in general. Like if you ask me to voice a little boy character, like a shonen pro tag, I am so there. Like,
what's your boy voice?
Something a little like this. I really like the raspiness. Some people don't make their voice this raspy, but I think that it's probably the most fun you can have. Plus, I know how to place it properly now so I don't injure myself, so there's also
that. Do you like the Ochako voice a lot or not?
The Ochako voice is basically just my voice being bitchy. Like, when I'm voicing Ochako, I just imagine that I am irritated with everyone and everything, and what do you know? Like, it just comes out naturally every time.
What's your favorite Ochako line to say, like, when you're being mean to Deku?
Ooh, oh god. I really like the one in our latest entry in Dark Deku Abridged, where she's kind of like, what was it she said? She was like, "You're about to get so loved, loser. Absolutely cherished." I'm like, I love this so much. It's like, she's being mean, but like also just so aggressively kind. I think that's so funny.
Okay, I'll find a few questions so we can wrap up. Is any funny or memorable anecdotes you have from Arya's choice?
Oh man, I mean, a lot of the editing was like, because that's originally why it came on. Like, I just remember going through some of the scripts and being so, especially in Damien's route, just being so floored by some of the randomness. And it just being like, all right, I see the vision, I've got to figure out how to make it fit with everything else. And so, like, it really got me because I'm like, this is so hilarious. Now, how do I make it sound like it belongs in the game, you know? Because there were a lot of those crazy moments where I'm like, oh, I want to keep this, but it's so tonally weird. But we figured it out. We got some of those moments right in there, and without having to like compromise on leaving some of that wackiness, because I didn't want to make the route like too dark and intense in spite of Damien being kind of dark and intense.
We didn't want to saute Uchiha right now.
yeah, I was like, we need something to take the edge off, but if we go too hard, we put a new weird edge on. So finding that balance, I think, and coming into a game that like some of the routes were already mostly written, it was just, I don't know, it was fun. And I don't say that to like disparage any of the writers, like everyone did a great job, but it was in some cases where I'm like comparing two different people's styles. I'm like, oh, I have whiplash right now. And it is very funny. Like, it was challenging in a good way. When I say I learned a lot, like that was one of the main things I think helped me develop as an editor, was like, we just had so many different writers that I was like, my job is to make this cohesive. Like, my job is to make this sound like it belongs to basically meshing everyone's voice into one voice. And I remember that a lot of times that was very funny, as opposed to frustrating, so that was fun.
Is there any line from Serenity herself that you remember, that you love?
Oh gosh. I remember, honestly, like, recording was kind of a blur, in part because of, like, we talked about, oh man, I think I recorded everything in one day, might have been 2 days. When once I got in the booth, I just cranked it. I do remember my favorite scene to record is the karaoke scene in the Damien route.
Oh yeah, that actually was pretty fun.
That one was super fun. Like, I love the energy in that scene. I love their little argument. Like, that's probably my favorite bit. It was my favorite bit both to voice act and to, like, do the rewrites on. I was like, this is fun.
I'm probably gonna have to use that for her personal trailer because I don't really have much to work with for Serenity because, like, I didn't want to dig through all the audio and, like, you're busy, so you never were able to give me the extra.
Forgetting something. Yes.
So I was just like, so I never
use.
Yeah. So, where can people find you?
Oh man. I mean, if you're still on X, I never update mine, but you can find me there at SteenaCarryVA. It is the same on Blue Sky, so honestly, if you want to hear from me ever, I would say go there. Otherwise, subscribe to Joyride Entertainment. That's the other place I'm most active, and that's kind of a team effort, of course, but you'll never miss what I'm up to if you hang out there long enough. So I'd say that, yeah, Blue Sky and YouTube.
Yeah, you could give me the link after.
Oh, hell yeah, I can. Hell yeah, I can.
And for your final, what advice would you give to aspiring voice actors?
Yeah, ooh, I love this question. Take aspiring out of your bio, like, mainly just because if you're a voice actor, you're a voice actor. If you're working on your craft every day, it doesn't matter if you've been cast in anything, you're putting in what is a lot of the work of voice acting. So don't sell yourself short just because you haven't been cast in some hip anime or visual novel or whatever. Like, own it, right? And then I think the other piece for that is, do the training. Like, I get that with anime, I think this happens a lot with anime especially. One, don't assume anime is the end-all be-all of voice acting. You will never make a living just doing anime. So polish up some skills in other areas like commercial or e-learning. Because then you make money to get the equipment that will allow you to work remotely for companies like Crunchyroll and Funimation. Not Funimation, oh my god, they're defunct. Crunchyroll and Bang Zoom. There we go. Even though Crunchyroll doesn't really take remote actors too often unless they're proven, Bang Zoom is a lot more open to that. But all that being said, yeah, put in the training. Like, don't just assume because you've watched 7 million hours of anime in your life that you don't need any training on it, you have the perfect voice and all that. Like, go to classes on how to improve those techniques. Some of them are really affordable if you go through, like, Sound On Studio, because it's gonna make you a more competitive actor, and if you're not booking anything right now, putting in that training, you'll be surprised at how fast your career levels up and how much easier it is to, like, produce good demos and get agents. So those, I think, are first steps for aspiring voice actors. Like, do the training, be open to your career looking different than you might have envisioned when you were young and dreaming up what your life would be like. I say that from much experience. And yeah, don't sell yourself short. You are a voice actor if you're doing what a voice actor does, even if no one's recognized you for it yet.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the success. I wish this game the success. So if you guys are interested, download Artist Choice on itch.io. Give it 5-star rating so we get popular.
Yeah, do it. I dare you.
Become the next Doki Doki.
Yo, that'd be so sick.
It really would. I know, right? Like, beautiful. Oh my goodness, to like make a sequel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. You guys have a fantastic day, a fantastic life. I hope this is the last time you hear from me, but thank you.
But you hope this is the last time, or you hope this isn't?
I hope it's not the last time. Oh, this is so sad. I hope I die in a car accident tomorrow. Knock on wood.
I was like, what? I was like, dang, okay.
Dang, that's dark. Yeah, what a note to end on. But no, thank you guys so much, and thank you for bringing me into chat. This was fun.
Yeah, it really was. You have a good one. Everyone, take care. Bye-bye.